Okay. This is going to be a little bit longer than either of the ones that have gone before me, and I'll apologize in advance, but there were some things I felt I had to say when I started thinking about what to say tonight, so please bear with me. I'll begin, well, I'll also tell you that based on what's already been said, not just tonight but last night, there's going to be a little repetition because all of us who had the responsibility of making toast or remarks, we didn't necessarily coordinate, so bear with me on that also. But I'll begin by telling you, I know some of you have heard me say this before, others of you have not heard me say this, so I'm going to say it again and give you the benefit of my wisdom and keen insight. When Sarah came home last Christmas and walked off the plane in Denver with that lovely ring on her finger, and this whole process began, I told Cheryl at the time that I preferred that my involvement in this whole thing be limited to 3 things. I said I'll sign the checks, I'll walk her down the aisle, or the path as it turned out to be, and I'll make a toast. 2 down, 1 to go. Here it comes. I'm going to begin, first of all, also by thanking Lynn and Wilson and Megan for that lovely dinner last night. That was such a great opportunity for the wedding party and both families to get together and share a little time, get to know each other, have a good time. I think it certainly set the tone for today's events, and we appreciate all the hard work and effort that went into last night. That was a beautiful evening. I also, like Sarah and others have alluded to, I want to thank all of you friends who are here tonight to share this evening with Sarah and Dan. I know all of you have taken time out of your busy lives, and a number of you have traveled great distances at considerable expense. And we certainly appreciate that you were willing to do that, to come here and be here tonight and share this day with Sarah and Dan. All of you, we certainly treasure your friendship more than we can say, and we thank you for being here. I also would be very remiss if I did not acknowledge and thank, in a heartfelt manner, Jan and Tom Chadwick. Where are they? Jan especially, for all the trips to the airport, the free lodging, the free food, the free advice, the willingness for Jan to do anything and everything that Cheryl needed to help make this wedding happen. During the, some of you are aware, Cheryl made many trips here to San Diego in the past few months to pull this all together, and Jan was a remarkable lady in particular, but both her and Tom for their help in making this happen. I'm pretty sure that without their help, we would still have had a wedding tonight, but I'm not sure exactly how we would have pulled it off. But thank you, Jan and Tom, for that. I'm going to get to the toast and oh, I got to back up a minute. No, I will. I can't thank Jan and Tom without also acknowledging Cheryl. You all have seen the benefits of her hard work. There's been just untold hours that she spent on the computer, on the phone, emailing back and forth. As I said earlier this evening, I was kind of on the periphery of that, and I kind of knew what was going on, but to see it all come together tonight is just incredible. And sweetheart, you've just done a great job. I can't tell you how much. I also have to tell you, kind of jokingly, that around the house, we rented this house in La Jolla. We've been up there all week, and I've taken this week to calling Cheryl the wedding Ayatollah. Well, no, and but she had a plan, and it was going to come happen. It was going to work. But sweetheart, I want you to know that every time I said Ayatollah, that was in the most loving, kind sense of that word.
Smart man.
Also, before I get to the toast, I want to tell you about the first time I ever met Sarah. She was at the time quite young and quite small. In fact, she was about 21 inches tall, weighed 8 pounds 11 ounces. She was pink and wrinkled and splotchy, and she looked like she'd been in a prize fight. And then the nurse wrapped her in a blanket and handed her to me, and I held her in my arms for the first time. And I swear to God, I thought she was the most beautiful thing I'd ever laid eyes on. Up until tonight, sweetheart, you are so radiant and so happy and so beautiful. Now I'm about to pop the buttons on this shirt. Cheryl Lee, what have we done? As far as Dan, the first time I met him, he was not small. In fact, he was about the size he is now. And he was actually on the other end of a sleeper sofa that he was helping me unload off of a rental truck into the house that Sarah was living in at the time. I think you guys have been dating, what, about a month at that point?
2 weeks, I think.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, while I have your attention, they still have that sleeper sofa. It is now for sale. If you're interested, talk to the bride or groom before the night's over. One of our earliest memories of Dan for Cheryl and me was some pictures that Sarah sent of him dressed in the Captain America outfit. I think that photograph was on one of the tables, completely the padded muscles. At least I think they were pads that he was wearing. Apparently, they had been to was it a Halloween party or something? And that was Dan's chosen costume, and Sarah sent us those photographs to show us what a hunky was, I suppose. Little did we know at the time that he would eventually sweep her off her feet and become the real superhero for Sarah in her life, which is where they are now. I also have to tell you how happy Cheryl and I are that these two got together, and how pleased we are to welcome Dan to our family. Now comes the hard part. I've been going over this all night, and I'm not sure I remember it. So. Sarah and Dan, I know that you've been together, the two of you, about 4 years now. But as of about 2 hours or so ago, things have changed. The vows you exchanged are the first step on a journey that I can assure you will be long and strange and wonderful and miraculous. And like any long journey, there will be bumps and curves and hills and valleys along the way. But sometime tonight, somehow in the midst of all this family and friends and hubbub of activity, I want both of you to just stop and look around and take all this in. I want you to grab a hold of this moment, this evening, this day. Put your arms around it, squeeze it tight, and don't let it go. Remember this day the rest of your lives. Because when you come to those curves and bumps in the road, you can think back to tonight. And it won't make the bumps and curves go away, but you will remember the deep and abiding love that brought you here to this place in your lives today. And you'll remember that just like tonight, the most important thing in your lives from this day forward is each other. At this point, I would like all of you to please raise a glass to Sarah and Dan and to the journey. Thank you.
Love you, man.
That's it.
And girl.
Yeah, you can give them all a big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. It is time for our very special tradition. Sarah, would you please escort your father to the dance floor?
The damn rap session. Yeah, y'all. What's up?
You put your hands together for him, ladies and gentlemen.
You are so beautiful.